We'll find out soon enough. And while we're in Emerald Stair, there's something I've been putting off. An old friend from my time in Thirdborn had a cabin out in the woods. Tama. He passed a while ago, but he left something for me that I never got around to picking up. But since we'll be in Emerald Stair anyway, you won't regret it. Emerald Stair's lovely this time of year. Even the Delimgon bloom.
No matter what I tell you, you keep picking flowers from things that want to kill you.
Hey, they love me. You just gotta ask nicely. Compliment their foliage.
Right. Maybe buy them a drink before they choke you to death with vines. I'd hope so. I think that goes without saying.
You and I have quite the adventure ahead of us, Envoy. I hear wiggle room on the singing.
If we're done being ridiculous, we should get some rest. We'll be in Emerald Stair tomorrow.
Good to have you with us, Marius.
Right. Go to bed before you violate the hugging rule.
There. That's Tama's old house. Wonder what he wanted me to find. Place feels different without him. He left something behind for me. Help me look around. So much here reminds me of Tama. It's strange to be back without him. I still can't imagine what he wanted me to find. Say, what's that you're holding? Yeah, it is. His most prized possession. Damn you, Tama. Damn you. I carved this for him years ago. I had no idea he'd kept it, let alone. All this time, I never knew. And he tells me like this, when he's long gone, leaving me with nothing but a piece of driftwood I gave him years ago. Would be if he just told me. I never gave him any reason to be coy. And we knew each other for years. We were close. I trusted him with things in my past. Things I don't talk about. If he really did, he would have told me. I was a mess when we met. I'd been through the battles in Deadfire and a handful of mercenary campaigns since. I was a chewed-up piece of flotsam drifting to the living lands. Oh, I don't blame him. Tama always saw right through me. He knew what I was. Coward. I let him down. He was always there when I needed him. But when he needed me, I'm sorry. I'm gonna need some time with this. That's probably for the best. I haven't talked about this in a while, so thanks for listening. It means a lot. Especially since you seem to have your head on straight. A little fresh air will clear my head. Listen, I hate to ask this, but while we're in Shatterscarp, there's something I need to do. Something I owe Tama. There's an old battlefield near some Pogrunan ruins. Area called the Shark's Teeth. Tama lost his badge there. I need to get it. Thanks.
Takes courage to go back for something you lost. I wouldn't have it in me.
Get some rest. Sleep is good for the soul. Maybe this doesn't need to be said, but I don't blame you for what happened to Fiorme Siverno. I just wanted you to know. You aren't responsible for the sins of the Steel Garrote. I'll get the bastards who did this. One way or another, I'll make them pay.
Sleep well. We've got a long road ahead.
That's done? Who's hungry?
That's Tama's badge. You found it. It really was out here all this time. Right where we left it. It sure is. It reminds me of old times. Long marches under the desert sun. Scouting runs through sandstorms so thick we had to tie our tunics over our mouths. Oh, he was an incredible bastard. Led the defense of Thirdborn, which meant he also led most of our patrols. He'd wake us up before dawn with the most off-key singing you've ever heard and a pot of burnt merc brew. Only once I realized he was burning it so we couldn't taste how stale it was. He kept us marching until we had sand in every orifice you can think of, and a few you didn't know you had. Just when it felt like we were going to collapse, he'd call it and we'd make camp. And somehow, we'd all find the energy for a few rounds of cards or songs or stories. He did. I don't know. This won't bring him back. This won't change anything. Because I'm a glutton for punishment? Here's the truth. I led a patrol. We were ambushed. Tama came to our rescue. And he suffered a fatal wound in the process. We did our best to keep him in one piece while we hauled him back. He was the color of an eel's belly. The stubborn bastard made it all the way back to Thirdborn. We got him a sickbed, but we knew he didn't have long. I wish I could believe that. You ever had to watch someone fade away? When it's slow and agonizing, no glory, no din of battle, no distractions. then you know. It's like sitting still while someone drags rusty nails over your skin. Sitting there, I noticed that he was missing his badge. And all the time I'd known him, I'd never seen him take it off. To an old trencher like him, a badge means honor, fellowship. I just couldn't imagine him without it. I'm sorry, Envoy. I haven't talked about this in a while. I never thought I'd tell this story again. But there's something about the way you've led us, the clarity you've kept. Something about you that inspires confidence. Kind of like well, thanks. Just having his badge in hand means more than you know. There's just one last thing I've got to do. There's a memorial site with some cairns on the cliffs east of Thirdborn. One of those cairns is Tama's. It's time I said goodbye. Careful, or you'll give me second thoughts. I usually count on my friends to be worse influences, you know. Let's go.
Left leg!
They're coming! You're taking damage!
Good one! Ahead!
Thomas Memorial. Never thought anything could contain that man, you know? That booming laugh, that bottomless appetite, boundless energy. Now he's under a pile of rocks. To be alone? With my thoughts? Oh. Envoy, that's the last thing I want. This is where you're supposed to distract me. Lighten the mood with a wisecrack or something. Trying? I thought I was doing a pretty good job. There's something I didn't tell you about Tama's death. Remember how I noticed he'd lost his badge? I went out. I told him I was going to go find it. He told me to stay. I said I'd be right back. I walked away, Envoy, and I kept walking. It's pretty simple. He was dying. I couldn't face it, so I left him to face it alone. Now you know why I never went back to his house in Emerald Stair. Why I never came back to Thirdborn. At least I'm in good company. The truth is, traveling with you and Marius, getting to know Giada, it's felt easy. Too easy. Yeah, and that worries me. You're so clear-headed, so easy to follow, that I've been able to fall in line and back you up. But I'm not that guy, Envoy. I'm not a joiner. I'm good for a skirmish, some war stories, a few drinks, but I'm not someone you keep around. Come on, you know my story now. I let people down. I let them down when they're counting on me most. Self-compassion. That's a balm for outbursts and hangovers. I know what I am. I'm finally facing it. But he's not here, and that is because of me. I'm finally owning that. What? No, I didn't. He died pulling my ass out of the fire, and I still let him face it alone. How can I remember him without remembering that? He'd tell me to pull my head out of the muck and look to what's ahead. That I messed up, but that's no reason to keep messing up. And he'd probably do it over a cup of his awful Merc brew. I never realized I'd let my failure change the way I remembered him. One of the things I loved about Tama was how he gave us all a fresh start. No matter where we'd come from or what we'd done. I drifted to Paradise, but never thought about where I'd go from this. Tom always talked about the places he hoped to see. The islands of Deadfire, the tundras of Nasitok, the ancient cities of Old Valia. Maybe I ought to see some of those places for us both. As a traveler, not a soldier. Once we've stopped the Dream Scourge and dealt with the Steel Garrote. I've got some things to sort out, but it feels good to have something to look forward to.